Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with another episode of SoundJack's Rambles. And today I'm joined by Alyssa.
Hello.
Hello. And today we are here to talk about RWBY Volume 6.
Hey. This ended a while ago, but, we're finally here. Hashtag never too soon.
Oh, actually, not that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right, because this was airing sequentially one episode at a time, and normally we just do 2 weeks for that. I was thinking it was another Netflix series, and I'm like, oh, why isn't it been 2 months? And I was like, oh, wait, never mind.
Nope.
We're late.
Yeah, we are a little late, but like we said last time, we're kind of playing catch up with a couple things. But now we're finally going to talk about it. So get hyped. Also, quickly, we're using new audio equipment, kind of, sort of, not really. Yay! Hopefully everything's clearer to you guys now. I hope you enjoy it. So that's exciting.
Yay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So what do you want to... So I think we should just kind of get right into it.
Yeah.
We've talked about RWBY before, so if you want to hear more of what we have to say about the show as a whole and stuff, head on over to some of our other podcasts. I think we've talked about episodes 1 through 4. Not episodes. Volumes 1 through 4 in one podcast, then volume 5, and now volume 6.
Yes.
So.
That seems right.
Yep. So, okay. Man, it's hard to know where to start. With this volume, there's a lot to talk about.
Let's go in order.
Okay.
Let's just start from the beginning, and the beginning is the Adam character short.
Right. I forgot that was a thing. I forgot. Because, who cares about Adam to some extent? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm spilling the tea. Adam kind of sucks.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if I have a lot to say about this character short. I mean, it was nice. I think the only thing I could say is that it's nice to see Sienna again.
Yeah.
It's pretty much all I have to say about the short from what I remember of it.
Just to also see, his progression from where he was to where he ended up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the season where he literally ended up, which is where he belongs.
Right.
But we'll talk about that later.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. But actually getting to the season, first episode. Well, it's more Adam because this is the point where Adam comes back and slaughters half of the White Fang.
Yeah. No, he does. He goes all psycho. I mean, he was psycho to begin with, but even more so.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. He even. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
He even slices the throne.
Yeah.
Symbolism. Yeah, he's kind of losing it.
Mm-hmm.
And if he ever had it, he has lost it already. So, yeah. Things aren't looking too hot for Adam. And then we also get on the train. We see that they're heading to Atlas. But then some grim come a-calling. A guy gets killed right away. And
no. Oh yeah, he did.
He got killed in that episode. I mean, some guys they met earlier got killed, and then they fight him off.
The one guy got killed because he got thrown off the train, and the other guy I thought was dead because he slammed into the side of the tunnel. But no, it was just his arm.
He just got a big ouchie. That's all. That's what happens when you have your arm sandwiched between a wall and a train. Anyway, so they unfortunately, Team RWBY and Team JNR.
Junior.
Junior, but not Junior. Get separated.
Because the relic of the lamp is drawing the Grim to them and the train, including the new Manticore and Sphinx Grim.
Yep.
Which is no good for the train passengers. So Team RWBY vows to stay behind. They shove all the passengers in the front and use Jean and Ren comboing, like the good cleric Jean is, to boost Ren's emotion hiding power.
Yeah. Sorry. Hello. Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's so we do that and we meet new character Maria Calavera, who is the best character in this season. I will fight everyone on that. She's great.
She's so great. She doesn't look like much right now, but she's great.
Yep. And
but now Team RWBY is stranded in the snow.
Yep. And they gotta get to Argus somehow.
Yes.
Who knows how?
Yeah.
We know how.
We'll talk about how. We'll talk about how. And you would know how if you watched the series before you started this podcast.
Yes.
Because you should know by now, if you listen to us regularly, that we're talking about heavy spoilers.
Yes.
Let's just talk about not the big thing that happens over the next couple episodes, but the other thing with Cinder.
Yes.
Because Cinder's back.
Mm-hmm.
She goes to talk to a little Miss Malachite, who, if you can tell, is a little Miss Muffet reference.
Yes.
Who's trying to figure out information about RWBY.
Yep.
And their whereabouts. And then when Cinder comes back for the information, guess who's there waiting for her? Neo.
Oh shoot! She's back. She's back and ready to throw down, and they have a fight, and it's great.
Yep. Until Cinder is like, "Hey, we both want RWBY dead. Don't get mad at me."
Right.
And then they start to work together, but it turns out that Neo is fully mute.
Yeah. She just doesn't talk.
Yeah, which is interesting because I remember in like volume 3 they mentioned they had a voice actor for her.
Yep.
So I wonder what happened with that.
I guess they just decided to keep her mute as part of her character. It's just, fine.
Yeah. But that's the thing.
What?
Yeah, I'm just saying that's the thing. How'd you like it?
I'm happy to have Nero back. Although to be fair, I don't know how long she's gonna stick around. Like, I have a feeling next season she's donezo, but
yeah, that's fair.
We'll see. We'll see how long she lasts.
Oh yeah, and let's also mention how Salem knows that Cinder's alive, but isn't going to do anything to help her out because she's considering her a failure at this moment in time until she can prove herself again.
Yep.
So that's fun. That's fun. Internal conflict for Emerald.
Yes.
But let's talk about the big thing.
The big cheese. So the big cheese is we finally interact with the Jinn. The literal Jinn-y. Get it? The literal genie in the lamp. Who is who can answer 3 questions within
100 years.
Within every 100 years. So basically Ozpin, not Oscar. Ozpin is all like, "No, don't do it. You don't want to ask her any questions." And they're all like, "No, we want to know." And so RWBY asks, "What is Oz hiding from us?" And we get the backstory.
Yes.
Oh man, so much happens.
Well, Oz is like, no, because he lied to them and said that her wishes were used up for this century.
That's fair, yeah.
And then Oscar betrays Ozpin and says, "Hey, call her name." And then find out she has 2 wishes left.
Yeah, so basically we learn that Oz is a big fat liar, and interesting development. And I mean, we had gotten a lot of like hints up until this point about who Ozpin was. We know that he's super old. We get the feeling he's way more than he seems like he is. He's more than meets the eye.
Robots in disguise.
Let me just quickly check off on my little list of things I must mention in every podcast. Obligatory Transformers reference. Done.
Okay.
Now we don't have to worry about making this podcast any better, Michael. We've already hit top.
All right, so we can just end it here then. Bye.
Bye.
Kidding. Kidding.
Yeah. So, what do you think? What was the most like insane part of the whole big Lost Fable episode to you? Like, what part of it was like, oh my god? Like, which part like got you?
The fact that the gods were actual people that lived on the planet and are probably just powerful aliens
Yep.
that then decided to wipe out humanity the first time, and that the current round of humanity is its second incarnation.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's really interesting to me to see how the fandom reacted to this episode, in my opinion. I know a lot of people were like getting really angry at the gods and being like, they're idiots, and I'm like, they're kind of supposed to be like traditional capricious gods that are fallible. Like that's kind of the vibe they're going for. So I'm not like, yeah, it's not fair. The gods are, they're not. It's not like it's like the Christian God who's all powerful and all knowing. They're powerful beings who are gods, but only by virtue of their abilities, I guess, in some ways. I think to me the most interesting aspect, well, for one, I think it was really great seeing more of Salem and giving her some more dimensionality.
Yeah.
Seeing what motivates her. Also, okay, other thing. At first, I was kind of disappointed because I was like, oh no, not another woman scorned. Like, no, I don't need another woman scorned in freaking anime. Like, can we just not have that be a thing? Like, ugh. But then, I think they kind of saved it more because they had Oz and Salem get back together after like the world reboot, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
And they got back together. They started a family. And like they kind of are, she kind of is a little bit of a woman scorned, but it's clear that her anger is like her being evil wasn't so much like she was burned by Oz and therefore that's why she's all cray cray. It's like all of these other things led to that. And even though she and Oz are now on opposite sides, it's really clear that their disagreements come from a fairly interesting and more nuanced place than just, he ruined my life and now I must seek my revenge. So that to me adds a little bit more dimensionality to it. So I'm happy that they didn't go for that route, because otherwise it would have been like, damn it, they had a cool villain design and they freaking wasted it. Thanks, RWBY. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's really cool. Like sort of the implicit. There's also a lot of implicit things in this whole scenario too, like the fact that the dust is most likely the remnant of humans' magic that they use. Probably, I mean, it wasn't explicitly said, but that's the connection I got as to why dust exists.
Yeah, because magic was also a big thing first round of humanity could do.
Yes.
And like straight up magic, not like the aura magic.
Yes.
Which is definitely still a form of magic, but not like true magic, apparently. But hey, no. Magic Tech universe, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, like magic can be loosely defined, so I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Yep. So that, great episode. I also this is more of a storytelling thing, but I really liked how the episode was framed as a fairy tale. Yes. I think that was really well done. And also, fun fact, I actually did a rewatch of the whole series before this point. And back in Volume 3, during the episode where we learn about the maidens with Pyrrha, there's a scene where Oz asks her, like, what are some of your favorite fairy tales? And one of the fairy tales she mentions is The Girl in the Tower, which is the same fairy tale that this is. Which I was like, oh, symbol foreshadowing!
Yes.
Oh my god! I mean, like, I knew that they probably had this backstory for Salem since the beginning of the show, but it's so really cool to see that groundwork being laid out.
Hmm.
So I really liked that episode. I think it was really cool. I think it was a great way to get an exposition dump done in a really interesting way
Yes,
that also tied into the
because
story, right? Like it wasn't just let's just fill in his backstory. They were like, no, the reason this thing is important to put in now because the heroes of our story are starting to question their authority figures, and this is going to make them question it even more, which will drive and fill into the next part of the plot. And I'm just like,
yes,
yay! Not just some random filler that has nothing to do with anything. Like it fits into the story. So that to me is
yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
And I like that
especially
aspect of it.
at the point where we see Ozpin first find Jin and ask his first three questions. And the final question he asked was, "How do I beat Salem?" And she responds with, "You can't."
Well, no, I don't think it's beat. I think it's specifically destroy or
Oh,
defeat.
destroy.
Like not beat her, to destroy her or
Yes.
defeat her. I don't remember the exact word, but
Let me see if I can't quickly find it because I expect the phrasing is important. Admittedly, I more expect the fact that you can't isn't important, like Oz can't do it.
right.
But everyone is thinking worst case scenario as I'm sure I would be in that scenario,
Yeah.
um, because I know Ruby Wikia has transcripts of the episode. So
Yep.
do do
Yeah, I
do
don't remember the exact line, but I don't think it was beat. It might have been, but like I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
yeah. It's like the last line of the episode too, pretty much.
Mm.
Uh, how do I destroy Salem?
Yeah, destroy. Which I think the fact that he asked how do you destroy is like also an important word in that phrase because
Yeah,
maybe she doesn't because like we know that she can be defeated.
yeah,
She has to be shown the meaning of life and death, and then her
yeah,
curse will be broken, thereby making her immortal or mortal, thereby allowing her to be killed.
yeah.
Also, Ruby's silver eyes. That might be important. That might be important.
Well, here's the thing to that too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because we already saw what happened when Salem, who was gifted with eternal life, fell into the pool of eternal destruction.
Yes.
Uh, and an immovable object against unstoppable force. The immovable object won, but was corrupted.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that could happen.
Yes.
There's a lot that could happen, but at the moment, everyone's just like, we're in a no-win scenario. What do we do now?
Right. Basically, episode 4 is just them being like, "You lied to me!"
And
Mostly.
then and then Ozpin just goes and says bye bye.
Also, Crow punches Oscar. Like, can we just talk about how, like, I just feel so sorry for Oscar. Like, he's a kid. He didn't ask for any of this, and here goes
No.
Crow being like, punch. Like, come on, man.
Oh,
Like, that's not his fault.
Jean also gets in his licks later.
Yeah. And it's just like, leave the boy alone. Leave the farm boy alone. He's done nothing wrong. Hashtag author has Arthur Oscar
Arthur.
has done nothing wrong. Arthur Watts has done many things wrong, but like
Yeah.
Oscar, no, Oscar's done nothing wrong.
Oh, side note,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because interesting thing. Before Ozpin was Ozpin, he was known as Ozma.
Yes, yes, he was. And fun fact: Ozma is a reference to the Wizard of Oz, and Ozma is the god. Sort of
Hmm.
my Wizard of Oz lore is a little rusty, but she's basically like the creator of Oz and the land of Oz, not
Yeah,
the wizard, the land. And she's the one who like presides over it as its ruler ish, more
yeah,
like its god basically.
yeah,
So that's where Ozma's name comes from. So
yeah,
it's kind of weird to me that Ozma is a guy, like, but it's fine.
yeah,
So yeah, that's basically how it is. as the episode title says. And then now we move on to the two-parter that scared us so much. It was The Coming Storm and The Lone Woods. I mean, they're not directly two-parters, but they're basically it's basically a two-party episode.
No, yeah.
So basically, like, this episode was great, honestly. Like, these two episodes were just, like, top-notch. You know, like, them coming to this, you know, abandoned place, them seeing dead bodies in the bed, like, what's going on? And, like, and you know, all of them being really upset about what's happening, and they're all getting kind of catty at each other a little bit, you know, like things are starting to feel thing. Crow's drinking more now because he sucks. And then eventually we get to the point where I think one of the creepier scenes to me was right in the second episode, Alone in the Woods, where they're about to leave, and they're trying to convince Ruby. The rest of the team, Ruby is trying to convince Ruby to like just leave the lamp right here because like who's gonna find it? And just there's a shot of Weiss, Blake, and Yang just looking at her, and they all have this dead-eyed expression. Like, the most neutral expression you can imagine. Their eyes are just expressionless. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my god. Like, oh, it's not good. Like, even, like they could have, like, it's not even that they were, like, angry or sad. They were just no expression. Nothing. They just felt nothing. And it was just done. Like, and I was just like, oh, no. And then, like, you know, and then you like this repetition of the phrase, I'm so tired. Like, it got really creepy. And then we go into the well because Ruby accidentally drops the lamp into the well
because she sees something.
She does, and then we go down there to retrieve it, and we find the apathy, by far one of the creepiest Grimm in the whole series. They're like zombie waif things. They're more like ring wraiths actually, or like dementors,
but with the proportions of Slenderman.
Yeah, like Slender Man, like picture Slender Man, and like has the power of like a Dementor kind of, in the sense that it affects human emotion.
And also its limbs it's just bending all of its limbs in the wrong way.
Yep.
Like either hunched over with the head like 90 degrees, or the arms are just backwards, or
Yep.
It's horrifying. I literally had a nightmare about these things.
Yep, they're really horrifying. And then this is also, but when all hope seems lost, Ruby uses her silver eyes again to clear him out. And it seems like Maria might know something about it.
Yes.
Interesting. Also, I think one of the most interesting things about this episode too is that it's the episode itself, or the apathy, is sort of like a direct reference to Barnaby the Scriber. I don't know how to pronounce the last name of it, which is a short story. I forget who it was written by. Maybe Jonathan Swift, but don't quote me on that. And it was about a guy who's suffering from depression back in the turn of the century, and sort of writing about that. And it was pretty obvious that the writers took a lot of inspiration from that story. And I think also one of the creepier scenes too was when Blake was close to being ganked by the apathy, and she just literally was like lying on the ground, blank expression, like it's fine. Like, that's so creepy too, right? The idea of someone like in imminent danger. Like, it's creepy to be in a situation where you can't escape, but it's even creepier to have someone who's doesn't care that they're in danger, right? Like, danger's literally looming right over them, and they're just like, it's fine, we're okay. And you're like, no, it's not fine. There are creepy things behind you. Get up, stop. So, yeah.
But yeah, Bartleby the Scrivener is by Melville.
Oh, or Herman Melville?
Yeah.
I knew it was like an early 19th century author. I just couldn't remember who it was.
Yeah, Miles did tweet out that he did specifically base this episode on that.
Yes. So, cool literary reference. And as a literary junkie myself, I always like them.
Yes. But next episode, we learn a bit more about Maria Calavera,
Calavera. Yep. And we learned that.
aka the Grim Reaper.
Oh damn! We found out she used to be a kick-ass, legendary huntress who had silver eyes, and she had like a scythe. Of course,
She
she
had
had a
two
scythe.
sides.
She had two sides that were generated by like gravity dust.
Gravity.
I'm pretty sure.
So like she could throw them, and then she could call them back at her moment's choosing.
Yep. And then she was, unfortunately though, she was accosted by some of Salem's lackeys and lost her eyes because of it. And one of the faunus that was with her or was attacking her was named Talk, and she was really cool.
Yeah.
You know, only a bit character, but she was still really cool. Based off of the alligator or crocodile, I should say, from Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
So
But,
she's really cool.
Yeah. But Talk does neuter her eyes.
Yep.
And Maria admits that she was scared to go back into the field and fight even when she got her eyes repaired.
Mm-hmm.
But RWBY convinces her to help her out and still be able to leave this world in better shape.
Yep. And then we also find out that Crow was a huge fanboy of the Grim Reaper.
Oh yeah, he based his.
He probably had like posters of her on his wall. Cosplayed as her at every convention. Tried to get signatures. You know, the whole thing.
Yeah. So RWBY based her weapon on Crow's weapon, and Crow based his weapon off of Maria's, and now Maria's training RWBY to use her silver eyes. It's just a huge.
It's a whole huge circle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked this episode. I think it was really cool to see her, and I like how they're using the Grim Reaper and the way they use the Grim Reaper, not only as like death but also as a literal Grim Reaper. Like, great.
Yes.
And yeah, Maria, that just makes me like Maria even more. I liked her from the start, and now I like her even more.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end, yep.
And then we get them. They get to Argus.
Yes, and now the rest of the episodes are in Argus.
Yes. And I just want to stop really quick. Talk about John's sister and her wife.
Oh yeah.
And child.
Yep, they're here in Argus, which is based in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really cool. Cool. It's good to see more LGBT representation in the show. I think my favorite part about it is that it's just kind of there, which I think is good. Like she just has a wife, and everyone's like, "Oh, hi, it's your wife," and they're just a couple, and I like it. And we can obviously see that same-sex relationships aren't even taboo to any extent in the RWBYverse. They're just kind of a thing, which is nice.
Yep.
I am here for it. And yeah. And meeting Jean's extended family is also great. I hope we meet the rest of his siblings at some point. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Although we might not if we're leaving if we're leaving Mistral. There we go. If we're leaving Mistral in the continent of Anima, we might not. But we'll see.
Yeah.
So now what we're doing is basically at this point, we reunite with Junior. Jean flips out and is like, "Oh my god!" Accosts Oscar because it's not like he hasn't had enough stuff to deal with recently. Let's just pile it on him more.
Yeah.
And then we think he runs away. He's nowhere to be found. And then
but before that happened, they tried to go to the military base again to get to Atlas.
Oh yeah.
And we run into Maria's old enemy.
Yep.
Caroline Cordovin, and she's an enemy of hers because Maria had snuck snacks onto an Atlas flight one time.
Yep.
That's 3.
Yeah. Yep.
Cordovin, based on the old lady in the shoe, has a real boot up her butt, if I do say so.
Yep. She probably really likes to run boot camp.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
And she's a real hard butt, and won't let them come through for even though they have pretty good reason, and even though Crow, who is one of Ironwood's trusted friends, I guess, or someone
friends
who
friends might be stretching it.
they were that like Crow has enough security clearance
A
to have
peer.
probably be
I'd say peer would be the best term.
yeah, they're peers in the sense that Crow should probably get security clearance to go to Atlas, right? So
yeah, they're only allowing Weiss through is the thing.
yes, because it's pretty obvious that it's not necessarily because Weiss is. I mean, she is a Schnee, but it's mostly because then Caroline can be like, look, Jacques, we are awesome. We brought your daughter back. Promote me. So yeah, So we have to try and find out what's up, and then we also, I think, in this episode we also get a little more background on. Oh, maybe that's the next one. I think that's the next one.
No, it's this one. The background about the silver eyes and a little more about what Maria's semblance was.
Yep, which is just quick reflexes. Nice.
Yeah, and then the next episode is the episode they search for Oscar.
And we find other things in the meantime.
We find a statue dedicated to Pyrrha.
It was...
John finds the statue dedicated to Pyrrha. And then there's a woman that is voiced by Jen Brown that is talking with John, and we don't know who she is.
No, we don't.
And it was so sad.
It was really sad. But it was a good episode. It was a good. I think the way they handled it was really good. Because one of the things I was asking myself, like, pretty much the whole time, episode 4, through volumes 4 and 5, was what will we ever find out anything about Pyrrha's family or where she came from? And I was thinking, especially since she died and she was well beloved by lots of people, I felt like it would be strange if she wasn't acknowledged in the world of RWBY. Mm-hmm. But they did that. Turns out she was from Argus, which makes sense because I think Argus is actually a Greek term, right? Argus? Yeah. I think it's a Greek word. Sounds like a Greek word, so it makes sense. And I think, and we don't actually know who this weird red-haired woman is, because that's all she's credited as, just red-haired woman. Some people have theorized that it's a relative of Pyrrha's, maybe an older sister or a mother or someone like that. Others have theorized that it was Pyrrha's spirit who came to Jean. And the spirit aspect of it comes more into play because Nora and Ren did not notice her or acknowledge her while he was talking to her, and when once Jean's talking to her, Ren and Nora call to him. To get to the point, the reason why people think she might be a ghost is because we don't see her leave; we just see her vanish. John looks away, and when he looks back, she's gone. So, was she a thing? Was she actually there? Was she not?
But the flowers are still there.
The flowers are still there, and
and there's nothing to tell us spirits don't exist in this world.
Right. So,
but nothing has told us they do either.
So it's very much up to your interpretation. Does she exist? If she is, who is she? We don't know. And while it seems like, I think Jen Taylor did tweet and she said that she knows who it is, but it seems like Rooster Teeth's not going to tell us who it is at any rate, which I think is fine. I feel like we don't need to know who she is, really. Yeah. I think whatever interpretation you think you think is the best one, I think you should go for it. I think it's very deliberately left up to interpretation. Who do you think she is?
I think she's like her Pyrrha's mother or something.
Okay.
It's Jen Taylor. Did I say Jen Brown before?
I think it was Jen Taylor, right? Or maybe it's Jen Brown.
It is Jen Brown. It is Jen Brown. I was right.
I lied. I'm sorry, everyone. I failed again.
How dare you lie to the good 5 people that listen to my podcast?
Shout outs, guys. We love you all. Anyway, Yeah.
Except for like geez, what podcast? Cyberverse podcast had like 100 views.
Oh yeah. Yeah. How did that podcast get so many? Was it because
I
Eric was in there? It's probably because Eric was there.
but I don't think he really retweeted it more than normal.
Or
So
maybe
that
just
was
everyone just likes Cyberverse.
everyone was just searching for something Cyberverse. Anywho, back to RWBY.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't know who I think she is. I think that I'm kind of sort of leaning towards more Spirit, actually. But either way, I think it was a really nice way to have Pyrrha sort of be brought into the fold again, and for us to sort of have her there.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Also, that song playing in the background was totally about like Pierre's love for Jean, and God, don't make me cry. Anyway,
Too bad it did.
I know. Anyway, so that was a really nice scene. Turns out Oscar wasn't actually missing. He just went and got some new threads, baby. Now he looks all fancy and stuff. He's a real hunter now. Sort of hunter in training. Ozpin alike in training.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then this is when we start cooking up our plans to try and steal an Atlas jet and make our way to Atlas.
Unfortunately, it goes very not well.
Nope. What do we get? We get
well, first, the plan is Weiss submits and sneaks Maria and Oscar on the ship, where they take out the pilots, and they fly away.
Yes.
To a point where they think they're going to be out of radio radius because Yang and Blake are taking care of that, mostly Blake.
Yeah.
Then they're going to pick up the rest of them and then fly away without anyone noticing. However, the plan goes awry when the radio signal doesn't go down. Because Blake got ambushed by Adam,
who's been stalking her this whole time. Yay!
Which is a great trait to have, and it's definitely a trait you want in someone that's your ex.
Yep. Creepy stalker boyfriend. Gotta love it. Yes.
And then that happens, and then when Cordovan finds out about it and finds out Maria's on board, instead of like doing the normal thing and sending regular planes out, she decides to bring out the super grim monster robot hunter.
Yep. To put a boot in their butt. Yep. I'm gonna milk this for all it's worth. Let me tell you. So so we get some preview of Genlock coming in to kick their butts, and they fight the mecha. They take out its cannon. I know there's other things. I'm just summarizing this part of the plot. But then turns out, oh no, there's Grim coming their way, and it's a Leviathan, because someone might be overreacting and getting a little angry. I wonder who it is. I wonder who might it be. Who might it be? I don't know. It's hard to figure that one out. I gotta think about it.
Not tell you.
So that's happening. In the meanwhile, Yang meets up with Blake. She sacrifices Bumblebee to the river in order to smack Adam around, and then they duke it out. I think the fight itself is actually spread across 2 episodes, but they duke it out.
Yeah.
We also find out that Blake has a scar from when Adam stabbed her. So, but it was covered up by her coat.
Yeah.
So.
But in the end, they are victorious. We do see Adam's eyes.
We do. For the first time.
He's got a nasty Schnee Dust Company branding over his face.
Which, damn. That's
That's definitely going to
honestly.
be, which even though Adam has died, and that is a good thing at this point because he wasn't getting redeemed. Don't kid yourselves, people that thinking we would get unredeemed.
No.
And B, um, yeah, at this point, all of we would have done was just chase Blake down forever, and we needed to get that stopped.
Yep.
So
Also, can
I,
I just say? Oh, I'll let you finish, and then I'll say my
so
thing.
I think this was a good place to kill him off.
Yeah, like this is a good instance of like character death actually making sense. Like, what else were they gonna do with him? I don't see any
Like,
other logical endpoint for his character. So
there's definitely like going to be stuff involving Faunus and the Schnee Dust Company in this next season or two. I'm sure of it.
probably, yeah.
Uh, but it's better because I mean, Adam originally did join, was a part of the White Fang for reasons of, hey, save the Faunus, even though he also had, hey, let's also kill the humans, probably in that mindset too, that just got worse.
Right.
Uh, but uh, this allows us to set up, hey, yeah, remember the thing we talked about before about like Faunus in the Schnee Dust Company mines
Yep.
that were like mistreated? Um, Yeah, here's the worst of it. Them branding someone's face over. Uh,
Yep. Also, can I just say, are you finished? Because I wanted to say my piece.
yeah,
Okay, I just wanted to say shout outs. I feel like this reveal was probably the best way for them to implement Adam's backstory to us. Like we didn't
yes,
need a flashback. We didn't need him going on a thing. All we need is just we see that and we're like, oh, and we understand
yeah,
his backstory.
yeah.
Like
We
that
got
was
it.
great. We got all of it. We don't need any more. It was all right there.
Yes,
Thumbs up. Visual storytelling. I love it.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. We got
So,
the information we needed before that filled in the gaps. If you had, if it, like, if you saw this episode by itself, you wouldn't understand it. But like, we got the information we needed beforehand. The context is there.
yep.
Um,
And
it
it
makes
builds
sense.
on it. Yeah, and it builds
Yeah,
on it. So that's great. Like it doesn't feel like it has to like spell it out for the audience what it is. Like they can kind of intuit and be like, "Oh,
yeah.
oh, that's what was wrong."
I mean, that
So,
conversation would have been a lot different if Weiss was there.
oh yeah, it would have been.
And that probably like that stuff would have been somewhat spelled out. Well, not like to a severe extent, but like he would have been like, you.
Exactly. But
Um,
but yeah, I still think it was a great way to do it. Um yep, and then Adam gets his butt handed to him and he goes ollie outy and falls into the river. I saw
yep.
some threads being like Adam's totally still alive, you guys, because we didn't see his body, and I was like, no, he is not alive. He is
It,
dead. It's not like with Cinder's fake death, where like she's a superpowered fire maiden mage and can like melt herself and like is
and
pretty
it's
hard
also a
to
little. Sorry.
and is also like a major character. Like,
Yeah.
of course she's gonna live.
Like Adam's been important,
Yeah,
but like he was just being used, honestly.
right.
He doesn't think he was, but he was just genuinely being used.
Yes,
Um,
and like honestly, like I said, what if they brought him back? What would he be able to do? Like what?
really.
Like nothing. I'm kind of glad he's gone because like
Because there's no way there's no way to redeem him. There's no way he would want to be redeemed.
and also like he's not interested. I'll be honest, he's not interesting enough to be a
No,
concurring villain really. So
no.
sorry, man. You have too many characters already. Out you go.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, so yeah.
yeah. He's about as likely to still be alive as Han Solo is.
Wah, 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 wah. Okay. So
Just
anyway,
saying. Just
I mean,
saying.
like I know you are, and you're right. You're absolutely right.
Um,
So and
but
then Oh, yeah, you go.
Unless you still have anything to say about Adam.
Just that he was one of my least favorite characters, and I'm glad he's gone.
Oh, also,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of hand holding between Blake and Yang, and
Yup.
I hope that means Bumblebee's a thing.
They're really, really laying it in.
Yeah.
Like these, I feel like I don't know how. I don't like. I have no idea how much Blake like Bumblebee as a ship or as a pairing, like in the show has been planned. Like I don't know if they like wanted this from the beginning or if it was sort of something that organically grew over time. But like ever since season 4, I'd say they've been kind of planting it as a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but with this season especially, they've been laying in on the moments, right? Like Blake and Yang sort of trying to smooth over the cracks in their relationship because of how Blake felt abandoned by Yang felt abandoned by Blake.
And Blake's now trying to be like helping and protecting Yang while not understanding that Yang wants to do it with her, not be protected by her.
Yeah. And it's great to see them sort of face their trauma together.
Yes.
Which is wonderful. And yeah, you know, if Bumblebee happens, I'm here for it.
I'd be so here for it. And I'm just gonna say, if this was a male-female pairing duo, I don't think there'd be any question that they're a thing.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
Because it's the same kind of thing happened at the end of Volume 4, and we're just like, okay, Ren Noah is a thing.
Yep. Yeah. No, so. I mean, like, I guess, I mean, like, yeah, I do think.
No, literally, it's the same thing.
I mean, yeah.
Because
I mean, you're absolutely right.
They were both suffering their trauma together, and they had to reface their trauma together.
Right. That's fair.
With help from people, but and then in the end, they're just hand holding and being cutesy wootsy together.
That's true. That is true. So. I mean, yeah. Blake, Adam literally does say to Blake, what do you see in her? Which, like, I mean, that pretty spells it out. Like, I don't know how much more explicit you can get other than them, like, just making out on screen. Which, like, you know what? Do it, man. Have them make out on screen. I'm here for it, too.
And I think you brought up the point that, like, if Ilya was into Blake, unlike with Neptune, she might not have been barking up the wrong tree.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I'm here for this relationship. If we'll see where it goes from here. I hope we get, because like, well, the thing though is, as much as I believe that they're pretty much canon at this point, I also feel like Rooster Teeth definitely needs to make it explicit at some point.
Yes, they really do.
Because that's the problem that a lot of, you know, shows that try to go for the representation fail on. Looking at you, Voltron. Looking right at you. Well, Voltron's a different thing, but like my point is that I have seen shows that have gone the queer bait route, and like they kind of tease it, but then they never follow through. So as much as I believe that they're definitely like, put it this way, if they're not a couple now, I honestly feel like they have to be going forward, considering the way that their relationship has been framed in the season.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? Like, there's just too much evidence for them to just be like, no, we're just good friends, brah. I'd just be like, really? Really? You're just gonna... That would feel like a cop-out, in my opinion. Like, they've laid the groundwork for them to be dating, and then for them not to be dating in the future, it would just feel like, really? Rooster Teeth, why? So yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm hoping they really go. I hope they go all the way. Not get your mind out of the gutter, fans. That's not what I meant. I meant go just like really be explicit about the fact, yes, they're dating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And I also think that like having a couple get together midway through a season is a good thing too, because shows. I'm sorry, I know I'm talking about this a lot.
It's all good.
Yeah, I can hear you itching to move on, and I'm sorry, but
that's fine.
I can feel the itch. I can feel, anyway. The reason why I'm talking about this is just because, like, And now I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Michael. I'm just kidding.
Of course, now we can move on. I'm kidding.
What was I talking? It was like, oh, about, okay, so like a lot of shows that have their main protagonists to some extent get along, like have a pairing if they do get together and date. Typically, they only really get together towards the very end of the show.
Yes.
Like if there's been this thing that's been building, this romance that's been like bubbling under the surface, they typically wait until like the very last act to have them get together. Which, like, I mean, I guess that's fine, but at the same time, for me personally, I prefer for like relationships to get together. Like I don't mind. I like to see like I think a lot of storytellers approach the thing of like once they get together, there's nothing else you can do, and it's like no. Like dating someone is its own brings its own challenges, problems, interesting dynamics, and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, for example, does Blake and Yang dating change the dynamic of the team? Right? Like, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Personally, I prefer it wouldn't. I hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
I would flip. Maybe
is Weiss gonna end up being jealous that she doesn't get the cat tail?
It took me a moment. I was like, are you implying that like Weiss wants a cat, like literally just like wants a cat tail? And then I was like, oh no, you meant, oh okay, I get it, and that's funny.
Yes.
Are you implying that you thought Weiss was into Blake too?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, and then
that's the easiest one I can make a joke about.
That's fair. Yeah.
Unless I go a little explicit in describing a notable part of Yang.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
I mean, like, it's fine. It's fine.
It's been referenced in the show before.
No, it has. It has.
So,
yes.
So.
We'll just say that, no, I'm not gonna, that's the joke I was gonna make is way too dirty. So we're gonna not. I can't. I'll tell you it after we're done recording, Michael. Sorry, okay. Audience. I know you're probably like, what's the dirty joke? Just tell us, and I'm like, I can't. The YouTube cops will shut me down. It's too raunchy. Okay, anyway. Yeah, but in summation, I am totally here for a mid-series get-together of two main characters, and
yes,
their relationship's wholesome, and I love it.
Yes.
Hashtag, just make it official.
But if it does happen, neither of them can die for the rest of the series.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Don't
Otherwise,
let that happen.
Yeah, don't kill him. Don't do it, Rooster Teeth. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
That would suck ass.
It would.
Anyway.
But we should finish up with what we mentioned before about the Leviathan attack on the city that is now undefended by its Titan Guardian.
Yep.
And that was.
Yep. Sorry.
And that was a really cool battle.
Yeah.
And especially with the neat trick RWBY pulls to allow her time to activate her eyes.
Yep. That was really clever. I did like that a lot.
Yeah.
And I also we got to see Summer Rose for the first time. Oh my god.
Oh yes, we did.
I mean, like we saw her in the photo that Crow had.
We saw her animated.
But we saw her like fully like as a 3D model, which was great.
3D model moving. That means that at the very least, Summer Rose was alive long enough for RWBY to have consciousness.
Yes. And yeah, no, that's and I mean it's really great because Summer, I think, is the only member of Team Stark that we don't know anything about really. Like all we know is that she was a cool mom who went off on a mission one day and died.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep.
We know nothing else about her. And that she also has silver eyes. There are some guesses we can make about it. I think it's very likely that Summer Rose was probably involved with fighting Salem somehow.
Yeah. Since
Probably.
most of Team Stark was already.
Yep. And she also has the silver eyes, so
That would have been an asset.
yes. So, but we don't know what happens, and I'm hoping that now that we see Summer Rose officially, maybe we'll start learning more about her. Because really, at this point, up until now, she's been very background. She's been referenced, and she's been acknowledged, but she hasn't been a major character. Even though clearly Summer Rose has been sort of implied to be a really important figure in RWBY's life and part of her biggest driving motivator. I mean, like the fact that her mother is what really helped her find the courage to use her powers kind of signals to me that Summer Rose is like one of RWBY's biggest guiding lights. So because of that, I feel like we definitely will probably, I'm hoping we'll see more of her as the series progresses. I'm hoping next season we'll learn more about her. That'd be great.
Yes. But yeah, the Leviathan is stopped. Cordovan is at least able to come in and drill it to pieces.
Yep.
And allows them to slip by as missing.
Yep.
So they can get to Atlas. We see Atlas. It's a flying city.
It's really cool looking.
Yeah. And then the post credit.
Yep.
Which the Wicked Witch of the West gets her flying monkeys.
Yup. I was like, yo, when it happened, because I like them references to or allusions to literature.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah, and then Hazel makes a comment that Salem is probably going to lead the next attack personally.
Sounds like it, yeah. So if there's an attack on Atlas, she's probably going to be heavily involved in it.
Yeah, she's going to lead the charge.
So we might get some more. So we might actually now have Salem and the main cast actually collide at one point. Also, we didn't mention this, but just to wrap that thread up, Cinder and Neo are on their way to Atlas too. They stole a ship. Neo got some new They both got some new duds.
Yeah.
Cinder's officially the character with the most wardrobe changes in this entire series.
Yep.
So she's got that fashion sense.
And Neo shows off that she can extend her camouflaging powers to other things.
Yes.
And probably other people too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's it for Volume 6, unless you have something else to comment.
I don't think I do, really. I think we touched on most things.
Yeah. So then the thing I want to discuss briefly before we wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
What do you expect to see out of Season 7? Volume 7?
All right. Well, I mean, there's a lot. Probably gonna see a lot of Weiss's character stuff is probably gonna come into play in this season, I imagine. I mean, we did see bits and pieces of it in Season 4 with her locked in her tower, as it were, but not really. Oh, sorry.
But now we got her friends to back her up and shout at her father.
Yeah, like now she's coming back. Especially, I mean, like, who knows how her father's going to react now that she's back from being essentially cut off. And I guess we'll see how what happens with that. I also expect that we might finally meet Penny's father. That's been a thing that's been alluded to ever since we met Penny. We know that she's from Atlas. We knew that she was a synthetic robot created by Atlas Tech, and that she has a father. And I mean, obviously, and Penny has been sort of another background figure who hasn't really been addressed, even though she also died. So I feel like when we get to Atlas, we will find out more about where she came from.
Yeah, I always we did see her father what we presume is her father very briefly, and it looks like we're going to be talking to Dr. Light soon.
Yup. So that's gonna be fun. I expect that will happen. Trying to think of anything else.
I expect something with the Schnee Dust Company is gonna come up,
Yep.
especially since we had the drop with Adam
Yep, and
about
Blake maybe can do in some faunus civil rights in that respect.
yeah
We might meet up with Team Funky. The
Team
real
Funky.
MVPs of this show, obviously, Team
Yeah,
Funky.
give me
Definitely.
give me back my man with this with the saxophone with the
Trumpet.
trump. Yeah, I know I said the wrong thing. I was correcting myself.
I'm sorry.
With the trumpet weapon. That was so cool. And give us the other two members of Funky.
Yeah, that would be really cool to see them again. I also imagine we'll probably. Well, the other thing was Emerald and Mercury's maybe potentially redemption arc has been kind of bubbling under the surface. Oh, there was another thing we didn't mention. Mercury's semblance was stolen.
Oh yeah, his father
What?
had the ability to steal semblances, stole Mercury's to try to get him stronger, and then Mercury killed his father and never got his semblance back.
Yep. So he does not have a semblance. His semblance is nothing.
His
Which
semblance is he is really good at kicking things because his semblance is now mechanical legs.
which is incredible, which is really interesting. And I also think that we're setting up for Emerald to have a redemption potentially.
Yeah.
She seems to be
Emerald,
very doubtful of where she is.
yeah, Emerald seems most likely, and it's probably gonna either cause her to get killed by Mercury or Mercury to get killed by Emerald.
Do you think one of them's gonna die?
If there is going to be a form of redemption arc for Emerald, I think yes.
Ah,
I don't think both of them will live if that does happen. Um, but now that I'm thinking about it, Mercury um, has been based on the Roman god Mercury,
mm-hmm.
but now with the fact that he doesn't have his semblance, now I'm getting mental imagery of Icarus.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, just though there's nothing really specific that would make that connection, but I just maybe something stronger if more happens with Mercury in this coming season.
Yeah.
Uh,
Interesting.
because unless like Marcus means sun in some language or is an allegory for the sun at some point. Um,
I don't know. I mean, like the myth of Icarus was also like Daedalus. Was an expert. His father Daedalus was an expert mechanic
yeah,
who constructed things,
yeah,
and
including the wings.
yes, and then that's what led him to Icarus. But he flew too close to the sun and then died. R.I.P. Icarus. So
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, he could be alluding to Icarus. Who knows?
Mhm.
Um, yeah. So those are. I'm expecting for more of Emerald's stuff. I don't know what else we'll see from the series.
Well, if Salem is gearing up an attack,
Mm-hmm.
do you think the attack would be wrapped up by the end of the season, or do you think we might see the beginning of the attack at the end of the season, and then the attack proper is volume 8?
Who I don't know. I have no idea. It depends on how long they want to spend in Atlas.
Yeah.
Because if they spend, I mean, for them, it seems like as if we're like if we're looking at the patterns, it's been Beacon arc 3 seasons,
Season
Mistral
season
arc seasons 4 through 6, and then 3 seasons in Atlas. But that kind of feels
no
too long.
no I find the pattern to be more one season getting to Mistral, one season in Mistral, one season getting to Atlas, one season in Atlas.
Ah, okay. And
That's
then
what.
and then like the next season might be getting to Vacuo. I would imagine would be their next destination.
Yeah, and then a season in Vacuo,
Mm-hmm.
which then, if we're following that pattern, that's still potentially 5 volumes left in RWBY.
Yeah. Although we might visit that shadowy mystery continent that no one's mentioned yet.
That's true. That's true. There might be more nonsense that we have to go to.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. Yeah. That'll be interesting. Interesting. But that's way far in the future.
It is.
If at all.
And
oh, wait. Speaking of far off.
Yeah.
We never mentioned we now know why the moon is the moon.
Oh yeah, we do. It's because
literally the god of darkness just shot off into space and is just like, nope, screw you, moon.
Yep, and they just punched the moon.
Yeah, they just punched the moon on their way out.
And now the moon is a remnant of its former self. Haha. Anyway, yeah, so this is really cool. Yeah, and then the other thing I wanted to ask you, Michael, who do you think is most likely to die next season if someone does that? I mean, you mentioned Emerald and Mercury. Anyone else, or do you think everyone's gonna live?
I mean, I don't know how much longer they can keep Maria around.
Right.
To be honest, she's probably potential. Oscar's got a lot going on with him. He's not dying, though. I do want to postulate a theory that instead of Ozpin taking over Oscar's body like everyone thinking he's going to do, that Ozpin helps guide Oscar to the point until they can like mentally merge, but then Oscar becomes the dominant personality.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I think Ozpin might just be the body of Ozpin might actually have been Ozpin before he was possessed by
Ozma.
Yeah, or whoever Ozma was before they went into Ozpin.
Right.
That's my thought on that anyway. Kind of more like, I mean, I know we already met our quota for the episode, but to go and delving into Transformers a little bit, kind of like the Matrix of Leadership as it's been presented, as it's like the collective wisdom of the primes that have bored the Matrix, and that the Matrix affects and adapts and modifies the bearer, and that they are able to access the knowledge that the previous bearers of the title, the bearer of the Matrix, had, but that they are not necessarily them.
Right.
That, but with Ozpin just being more active in controlling Oscar at this stage, because Oscar don't know how to do.
No, he's just a poor farm boy who needs to learn.
Yes.
And who knows, maybe his semblance will play into it too. We still don't know what that is yet.
Yeah. And then I had another point I wanted to make about something, but I forget now.
Sweet.
What were we talking about before I mentioned?
We're talking about who might die, if anyone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's it. I mean, even before the stuff that happened with his voice actor, Crow would probably be the next likely to die.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
He has like that sort of tragic mentor figure affect to him.
Yeah.
So, and he seems to be not wanting to drink, so redemption?
Yeah, redemption arc / the team has already shown signs of outgrowing him.
Right, yeah.
That instead of them looking to him for mentorship, he's looking to RWBY.
Right.
For what to do. Granted, I mean, like, even though he's kind of like a lone wolf type of person, he's always had like someone overall like that he sought advice and guidance from.
Right.
Because for most of his life, that was Ozpin.
Right.
And then Ozpin became a sham.
Yep.
And now
Get it? Get it? Get it? Cause the Wizard of Oz was a sham
I didn't even
too.
mean for that. I didn't even mean for that.
He was a sham. He was pretending the whole time. He was a carnival huckster. He's not a trustworthy figure. He was a liar.
Yeah.
You didn't think the Wizard of Oz would actually show up in this and be important to Oz's character, but it was the whole time.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, you're good. But I at the very least want to briefly address that.
Yes.
At the very least, they're not going to rewrite the show heavily to get rid of Crow.
No, I don't think they will. In the
they're
past,
not doing that. They're going to do a recast.
Probably.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know how that will affect RWBY Chibi per se.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's already well in production. If not, they've already gotten voice recordings from him.
Right. Yeah.
Since the production schedule indicates that that's probably going to be starting in a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
So either they'd have to make a quick turnaround or they gotta just cut all of the Crow bits.
Yeah.
So
we'll see how that works out. Yeah. I don't think they're gonna kill Crow off just because Vic Mignogna is no longer voicing him. In the past, every time a voice actor has been unavailable, whether through death or just they left the project for whatever reason, they've either, I think the only instance of a character's story being scaled back was Glinda Goodwitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like, to be honest, if I don't know her voice actor's name, I feel like if she is that Jen Taylor, or is Jen Taylor is someone in the show, right? Like, I'm not crazy, I'm not making up someone, am I?
Let's find out.
I might be making someone up. But Glinda Goodwitch's voice actress, the reason why Glinda Goodwitch hasn't been a part of the show, really, is because her voice actress and Rooster Teeth had a falling out. So they've kind of they've sort of sidelined Glinda. Like, she still is we still presume she's alive. You know, like, she's still at Vale trying to keep things together, but we haven't seen her since.
That's Kathleen Zulch.
Yes. Kathleen, you mean?
Kathleen Zulch, yeah.
Yeah, so she... and so I have a feeling that if that didn't happen, I think Linda would probably have been a bigger character in the show. Like, even at this point.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Jen Taylor is Salem.
I knew Jen Taylor was a voice actress in the show. I wasn't crazy. I just mixed up the gens, I guess. There's too many gens in this show. Anyway. So, but I think with Glinda, the reason why they didn't recast her was just because, well, she's in Vale the whole time, so we can just kind of push her away, and then, you know, if they revisit Vale, they can bring her back at some point. With a new voice actress, presumably. But in every other instance where there's been a voice actor who's left for various reasons, they've always recast them. You know, like, they didn't get rid of Ren because Monty died, and they didn't get rid of, I think Mercury's had his voice actor change a couple times.
Yeah, Mercury changed between seasons 2 and volumes 2 and 3.
So, like, they didn't kill him off. They didn't kill him off either. And, like, yeah, this is probably the first super major voice actor change since Monty.
Yeah.
But, like, I still don't think they're gonna kill him off. Like, I feel like this show would rather just recast the role.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Crow's probably gonna die anyway. like I highly doubt he's living till the end of the series.
He's definitely not living till the end of the series.
So, like, he was probably gonna die anyway, but I don't think he's dying, like, I don't think he's gonna die this next season.
Mm-hmm. Like,
he could, but, like, not right away. Like, if he dies this season, he dies, like, towards the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So they would have to cast at least someone to do the voices for him during that time. Yeah. I don't think they'd kill him between seasons. They can't.
No.
Unless he dies in the first episode and he just doesn't talk conveniently for the whole time.
Yeah.
Which would be really crappy. I hope they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
They'd have to, no.
I hope not. That would suck a lot.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah,
don't do it.
he's too skilled for that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be really dumb.
And besides, how would he decide they're walking in out? What would they do? Would an Atlesian guard accidentally shoot Crow down?
But like all the other ones are fine. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, like so that's why I think that they're probably not. They're probably gonna keep everything they had in place before Vic Mignogna left just there, and then they'll just recast him for however long Crow's still alive.
Mhm.
And then yeah.
Oh, and back to seeing Penny's father.
Yes.
I highly suspect Penny's father is also going to be the one responsible for Maria's eyes and Yang's arm.
Mm.
Since Maria has to go there anyway to get her eyes fixed, and Yang got her arm banged up from fighting Adam.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, Maria's going to take Yang to her eye doctor, and then the others will probably follow, and then he's going to realize, hey, you're the one that was with my daughter.
Yeah.
You were the ones with my daughter. Hi.
Yep. Yeah, that does seem like they do kind of have to have the pins kind of set up for that. So.
Mhm.
Oh, and then the other thing, last thing to touch on. I'm sorry, I know we're like talking about this for a while, but like, um, Ty and Raven were established to have been like after season. The ticker at the end of volume 5 was Raven going to see Tai Yang.
Yeah.
So will that come back at some point? That wasn't mentioned at all this season, like in any
No.
respect. Ty didn't even show up, which makes sense. He's all the way back in Patch, so
Yeah, and also this at best took 2 weeks,
yeah.
probably. Though granted, Raven has the ability to teleport directly to Taiyang whenever she wants.
Right.
So
Like I'm happy. I'm imagining this is happening in conjunction with everything. I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
will that come back at some point? I'm
Oh
assuming
yeah,
it
yeah,
will,
yeah, yeah.
but like, will it come back this season? Will we see them talking, or will that happen like some point in the far future?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, I think that's everything, right? I'm trying to think if there's anything that we missed.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's it. But just final thoughts about the season overall,
Uh
Michael.
a lot of good things.
Mhm.
Also some very horrifying things. I'm looking at you, Apathy. Some very sad things. I'm looking at you, potential spirit / mother of Pira Nikos.
Yep. God.
Ah,
Yeah, no, I thought that no, I'm gonna say I really liked this season. I thought it was really well paced. I thought it was really tightly written. I think it was probably my favorite season since season 3, to be honest.
mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't dislike any of the previous seasons, but I felt like this season was like really like okay, they know what they're doing. They're setting these things up. They're writing these things. They're
Oh,
following up on like these questions in like good ways. Yeah.
also so much lore.
Yes, we got a lot of lore, which is cool. And I know you eat that up like it's a bag of chips.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it sound less exciting than it really is. Oh, a bag of chips.
I eat up like it's like a 5-course breakfast.
There we go. That's a better
Yeah.
analogy. That's more delicious. Yeah, this was exciting. And I'm hyped for volume 7. I'm hoping to see good things from it. This show has still been going strong, and that's good, especially since there's been some shows I've watched recently that have been kind of letdowns. So it's good to know that there are still shows I've been following since the beginning that are still hanging in there.
Yes.
So, yeah. That's it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it for me. So, Alyssa, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at TheRationalDove.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in. And this is SoundJack and Alyssa signing off.